I thought we could do some bit of correction about what it says. It says that the statement was made pursuant to a notice in terms of Rule 3.3, leaving out the technicalities. It is a statement that was given asking for information. So instead of 3.3, it should have said a request for information. You accept that correction?
I accept the correction, Council.
And if we go to paragraph yes. If we go to paragraph 19, which you will find at the foot of page 12.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes.
You will see it refers to the period when you were appointed Minister of Sports and Recreation. And it says effective on November 1, 2010 until March 30, 2018 should read 2017, am I right?
Yes, correct.
With
Council.
those corrections, you accept this affidavit to be correct, Mr. Mbadula, am I right?
Yes, Council.
Well, it is structured in this way, and I think by far the majority of assertions you make are common cause. Let me walk with you and start maybe from paragraph 5 of your statement, which you'll find at page 2.
Yes, Council.
Happily we know where you were born, and you say what about that?
Yes, I was born near Botshabelo, which is a district in Bloemfontein, in the farm of Dielisville, which is called Noordhoek. That is the farm I was born, and then moved to Botshabelo in the Free State.
All right.
In 1979, yes.
Yes. And then under paragraph 6, as we have now corrected, it is a statement in response to matters pertaining to what this commission is about, right?
Yes, Senior Counsel.
Please read for the commission what you say under paragraph 7 on the foot of the page. It will be page 3.
This statement is moreover presented in response to a written request from the Commission for assistance in furnishing it with material in my possession or such material that I had access to during my tenure as Minister of Police concerning decisions, discussions, or policies affecting the investigation and prosecution of TRC-related cases, which may be relevant to the work of the Commission.
Under paragraph 8 is what I think provokes no controversy. You deal with the question of the mandate of the Commission. Am I right?
Yes, Counsel.
And I say we may not dwell on that because it is common cause what the mandate of this commission is. Would I be correct?
Yes, Counsel.
All right. And then you deal under paragraph 9, which with matters that I propose to just run through with you. Also of no controversy that this commission has as its history matters that obtained in what is popularly now known as the Kalata matters, right?
Yes, Senior Counsel.
And there in your statement, you cite what were the issues in that matter about which there is, again, no controversy.
Yes, Counsel.
That you cite as issues under paragraphs 1.1 and really to a whole list of them, I may be tempted to say it merely covers the powers of the president for the appointment of a commission. Those are legal matters, am I right?
Yes, Council.
It would seem to us that, again, I'm leading you because, as I say, it is a matter of no controversy.
Yes, Council.
Okay.
Yes.
But then you come in your statement under paragraph 10, which you will find at the foot of the page of 7, about the establishment of this commission. Am I right?
Yes, Council.
You then continue in your statement, and I'm leading you deliberately because I don't think there will be objections about that. Then you recite all of them in the terms of reference about this commission. Am I reading your statement correctly?
Yes, Council.
So we go, including to paragraph 13, we proceed to the following page 10 about what are really matters of law and what this commission must deal with. Am I right?
Yes, Council.
All right. Then comes what I think is central to the reason for you being here, which would commence at paragraph 18 of your statement. You will find that at the foot of the page being 12.
Yes, Council.
And its heading is appointment to government and successive positions. That's principally why you are here,
Yes, Council.
to assist the commission. You tell us that you are appointed under paragraph 18 Deputy Minister of Police, effective on May 1, 2009 until Cabinet reconfiguration of October 31, 2009. Your responsibility was to assist the Minister of Police in such functions as were assigned by the Minister. Please explain that to us.
Council, what it means is that the Deputy Minister in government is the deputy to the Minister, of which the executive authority in government in decision-making rests with the Minister. The Deputy Minister gets to be delegated tasks by the Minister. He doesn't take decisions.
Yeah, now, as the deputy, you would have been assigned such responsibilities as the minister would have wanted done by the deputy, am I right?
Yes, Council.
In that specific space, were you assigned anything that has to do with the investigations and or prosecutions of TRC cases?
No, I was not.
All right. Then, as you tell us, you do take over as minister of a portfolio irrelevant for these processes, am I right?
Yes, Council.
But I would like you to read out for the commission what you say under paragraph 20 of your statement.
I was appointed as Minister of Police effective on March 31st, 2017 until February 26, 2018. I was the political head of the police portfolio. My responsibilities were confined to the determination of national policing policy and executive accountability of the police service.
And if you tell us more, that position you held would in law require you to do what in relation to policing?
My position, supported by the police secretariat, will be a position to ensure that policy and is implemented properly, and at the same time legislation that has been passed to guide the police on various matters is not violated and is executed by the police and supported by the police secretariat in doing that particular work. So we are guided by Section 206 of the Constitution in terms of oversight of that responsibility, whereas the police are guided by 205, which is operational.
More importantly, would you, in your portfolio as Minister of Police, do anything or have anything to do with what matters are investigated by the police?
No.
That would be whose responsibility in that framework?
That would be the responsibility of the National Commissioner.
Okay. So, qua Minister of Police, you would not have had anything to do with investigations and or possible prosecution of individual policing work?
Yes.
All right. And the period within which you held that was under a year, I see.
Yes, it was under a year.
Now, part of the responsibilities of a Minister of Police would be to have annual reports filed with Parliament in relation to policing. Am I right?
Correct, Council.
Would you be able to tell us during the short period you were there whether or not the filing period for the annual reports of police happened during your stay?
No, we had not filed the annual report during my stay. I stayed for less than a year. It looked like I stayed for 4 years because of my activism in that portfolio. Yeah.
All right. And then under 21, you then moved to a different responsibility unrelated to what you are about here as a commission. Am I right?
Correct, Council.
Your statement begins then to deal with the legal framework, and I may even suggest to you that policing under 205 is the responsibility of the police. Would I be right in investigating crime amongst others?
Yes.
All right, and you then deal under paragraph 22. Please read that out for us for clarity.
The minister is responsible for policy and not operations within the police portfolio. Section 206, subsection 1 of the Constitution provides that a member of the cabinet must be responsible for policing and must determine national policing policy after consulting the provincial governments and taking into account the policing needs and the priorities of the provinces as determined by the provincial executives.
And significant about that paragraph, you are not about operations of the police as a minister.
Yes,
Possible prosecutions would happen in relation to the TRC matters.
yes, Council.
Please read out what you say is section 207 for what it is worth.
Section 207, subsection 2 of the Constitution provides that the National Commissioner must exercise control over and manage the police service in accordance with the national policing policy and the directions of the cabinet member responsible for policing.
Then you cite a number of provisions of law. Again, I would suggest to you require no further elaboration, but you make the concluding remark in 25, which I invite you to read into the record. 25 paragraph would be foot of page 15,
Council, you're asking me to read?
paragraph 25,
Okay.
as a concluding comment you make there.
Okay. The Minister of Police, therefore, has no legal authority to determine investigation of cases and or direct investigations of criminal cases. The Minister plays no role in allocation of operational resources to investigation of criminal cases.
Yeah, and we may add, if you recall, that there would be a DPCI under the policing as a directorate, am I right?
Yes,
And you would have a head of that DPCI having its independence removed from the national commissioner and or the minister, but reporting to the minister.
yes, correct.
And basically about matters money than anything else, am I
Yes,
right?
correct.
Not relating to whether to investigate or not to investigate. That's the point you're making.
Yes.
Under 26, you tell us what, if you read it into the record?
The prosecution of criminal cases falls within the authority of the National Prosecuting Authority as determined by the Constitution and the National Prosecuting Authority. The Minister of Police has no political oversight, authority over the National Prosecuting Authority. It is impossible for the Minister of Police to give directions, stop or delay prosecution of criminal cases.
And if you continue on the paragraph 27, you would say?
Accordingly, the National Commissioner has statutory powers to exercise control over the investigation of criminal matters. The National Prosecuting Authority has statutory powers to determine and direct prosecution of criminal cases, including TRC cases. As a Minister of Police, I possessed neither of the foregoing statutory powers.
And for that reason, you would not be able to talk about what in relation to TRC cases was done by the National Prosecuting Authority, am I right?
Correct, Council.
You then deal directly with issues arising out of the request for information that prompted this statement from paragraph 28, foot page 15. Do you see that?
Yes, Council.
And I would like you to read each one of those as being part of your evidence, directly speaking to the positions you held. Under 28, we dealt with your role as Deputy Minister, and that you'd only do such matters as are assigned to you by the Minister. Right? I would like you to read into the record what you have under paragraph 29 on foot page 16 of your statement.
As Minister of Police, I was never involved in TRC cases. I did not have authority to determine, direct, or provide resources to any investigations relating to the TRC cases, and neither did I determine or influence decisions relating to prosecution of TRC cases. I played no role in whatsoever manner in the TRC cases.
And you continue to tell us what under paragraph 30?
I did not hold meetings or consultations with any member of family related to the TRC cases.
And proceed to say in paragraph 31?
I did not receive a briefing from any member of the police investigating TRC cases, and neither did I receive a briefing from a member of the National Prosecuting Authority responsible for prosecution of TRC cases.
And you would say what to us under paragraph 32 as you have it there?
I did not attend any meeting at which there were briefings and or about TRC cases. No information was shared with me concerning decisions discussions, or policies affecting the investigation and the prosecution of TRC-related cases.
The request for information also needed you to say something about any information you may have in your possession in relation to the matters being probed by the Commission. What do you say under paragraph 33?
I'm not in possession of any material that may be relevant to the inquiry of the Commission. I never had access to memoranda, correspondence, minutes of meetings, or other documentary records relating to the TRC cases referred by the Amnesty Committee for Investigation or Prosecution.
And you go on under paragraph 34 to say what?
As I have not been involved in TRC cases, regrettably, I am unable to provide an affidavit of any discussions, decisions, or considerations during my tenure as Minister of Police that may bear on the matter set out in the terms of reference of the Commission.
And as a Minister of Police, you would say what then?
As a Minister of Police, I was never involved directly or indirectly in any interference with TRC cases.
Mr. Mbalula, I would invite you to just conclude your statement with what you deal under paragraph 36 going forward.
In the premise, I herein dispel any claim or notion or insinuation that I may have influenced, pressured, colluded, or prevent investigations and or prosecution of TRC cases. I never had access to memoranda, correspondence, minutes of meetings, or other documentary records relating to the TRC cases referred by the Amnesty Committee for Investigation or Prosecution. I'm not in possession of any material that may be relevant to the inquiry of the Commission. I never had access to memoranda, correspondence, minutes, or meetings, or other documentary records relating to the TRC cases referred by the Amnesty Committee for Investigations. I am available to assist the Commission to achieve its mandate to the best of my abilities.
And that is your statement.
That is my statement.
And that is your evidence.
That is my evidence, Council.
Chair, Commissioners, the evidence of the witness in chief is that.
Thank you, Mr. Semenya. Ms. Moroka?
No questions for clarification from the Minister?
Ms. Moroka?
Apologies, Chair, I thought you heard me.
No, I didn't hear you.
A generation issue.
Yes,
There are
it
no
is.
questions, Chair.
No questions.
You're
Thank
not
you.
100 years old.
Mr. Kwala?
Thank you, Chairperson. I'll take it for Mr. Kwala. For the NPA, we do
It's
not
Mr.
have...
Lukele.
Mr. Lukele, indeed. We do not have any questions for this.
Thank you. Ms. Ntambeleni?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. No questions for this witness.
Yes. Ms. Rukhoto?
Thank you, Chair. I also have no questions for this witness.
Thank you. Where's Ms. Ranto? You are standing for Ms. Ranto.
Yes, Chair.
Yes,
I'm
it's
standing
Miss-
For SAPS is Dikhali.
Speak into the microphone, please.
Is Dikhali.
Yes, Ms. Khali.
We also do not have any clarification questions.
you,
Chair.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Vani?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we do have a few questions, but we have clarification.
Yes.
Mr. Mbalula, excuse me. Mr. Mbalula, firstly, thanks for taking time out of your really busy schedule to be with us today. Mr. Mbalula, I represent the 25 families that's known as the Kalata Group. Firstly, I should make it clear we make no allegations that you've been involved in any attempt to stop or undermine the cases. I just thought I'd make that clear from the outset. If I can turn to paragraph 28 of your statement, it's on page 15. And in that paragraph, you point out that while you were Deputy Minister of Police, and I can see that you were only there for a few months actually, 11th of May 2009 through to the 31st of October 2009. But during that period, you were never assigned to the TRC cases by the Minister, and you point out that you didn't have authority to determine, direct, or provide resources to any investigations dealing with the TRC cases. I just want to ask you whether you might have heard about some developments that were taking place during 2009. So this commission has evidence from a few people within the National Prosecuting Authority, such as Advocate Chris McAdam, who was with the Priority Crimes Litigation Unit. And during 2009, particularly between July and November, he wrote to several people within SAPS, and he attempted to meet with Assistant Commissioner Dramat, who was head of the Hawks, and then ultimately he did have a meeting with Assistant Commissioner Lebeya, essentially to request the appointment of investigators to the TRC cases, because up until then they had been struggling to get investigators to those cases. Did you ever get to hear about that?
No, I
Thank you.
didn't.
And then if I can refer you to a decision of SAPS, which is reflected, which reported in the NPA annual report of 2009 stroke 2010. And essentially it's a decision to only commence investigations in the TRC cases post the 2010 World Cup. I'll just read the extract to you. This is from the NPA annual report of those years. The PCLU is required to advise the NDPP in making decisions whether or not to prosecute in cases arising from the TRC process. Matters need to be fully investigated before any final prosecution decision can be made. Since 2003, the NPA has struggled to secure the necessary cooperation in this regard. With the establishment of the DPCI, the responsibility for such investigations was transferred to this unit. The PCLU had to recommence its negotiations de novo. Currently, the DPCI has indicated that it will conduct the necessary investigations, but only after the conclusion of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, due to the fact that it has a number of special responsibilities in connection with this event. Did you ever get to hear of that decision?
No.
And do you have any comment on the fact that SAPS or the DPCI decided to hold back the TRC cases pending the conclusion of the 2010 World Cup?
Well, from what you are presenting, Council, is it correct, Council?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. From what you are presenting, it's quite clear for the reasons that they give there that I think if I heard you correctly, they seem to be saying that they needed to undertake investigation before any other thing happens. So I think from an operational point of view, they will be better placed to respond to that particular question as to what informed their decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But from the perspective of the families, you can understand their consternation that their cases were held back as opposed to other cases.
Well, I wouldn't want to really delve into that. I wouldn't, yeah.
Okay. And then if we can turn to your paragraph 29, and this deals with your tenure as Minister of Police. And there you indicate that you didn't have authority to determine, direct or provide resources to any investigations relating to the TRC cases. And again, you weren't Minister of Police for very long, March 2017 through to February 2018. As a matter of interest, during that time, did you get to hear of the reopening of the Ahmed Timol inquest, which took place in 2017, and the ruling was handed down in October of 2017?
Like I said, these matters were not brought to my attention because they squarely belong to the operations of the police.
Yes. But I was just wondering, given that it was such an old case, that it taken so long to be addressed, do you recall any discussion within the police at that time dealing with that delay?
No.
Thank you. You indicate that while Minister of Police, you didn't have authority to provide resources to any investigations relating to the TRC cases. We heard yesterday from another former Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, and he said, finding resources did fall within his responsibility. And so from time to time, he would actually approach the Minister of Finance for additional resources. Do you agree that if you had been asked for resources, you could have done something similar?
Yes.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
No further questions.
Good morning. I'll just call you SG. Good morning, SG.
Good morning, Justice.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. I hold nothing against you for appointing me Hawks Ombud and then left to Lutuli House.
Yes.
I want to deal with you on one aspect, and that's reparation. If you could go to paragraph 9 of your statement at page 4, and if you could read to us that paragraph 9.1 that starts with declaring the conduct. We're talking it falls under what you characterize as background to the establishment of the commission. If you could read that for us into the record.
Paragraph 1.
Yes.
Declaring the conduct of the respondents in unlawfully refraining and or obstructing the investigation and or prosecution of apartheid-era cases referred to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, to the NPA, i.e. TRC cases, or to have abandoned or undermined such cases to be.
And 1.1,
A violation of the rights of the Galata applicants, the families of victims, and survivors of apartheid era crimes to equality, dignity, and the right to life and bodily integrity in terms of Section 9, 10, 11, and 12 of the Constitution.
Yes, and if you could end with paragraph 2 at the bottom of that page.
The payment of constitutional damages.
Yes. Now, we are confined, as far as that is concerned, by the terms of reference. And if I could go to the proclamation by the President, I just want to read what it says. One, the Commission must, in relation to the period since 2003, inquire into, make findings, report on, and make recommendations concerning the following, guided by the Constitution, relevant legislation, policies, and guidelines. And then we jump to 1.4. It says, whether in terms of the law and fairness, the payment of any amount in constitutional damages to any person is appropriate. Now, I would want you to put yourself in the shoes of someone that I heard speaking on SAFM today at around 9 o'clock. The person says he was tortured by the police during the apartheid regime. He is impecunious, and he thought there would be reparation, and there is no reparation for him, and there was reference made to this commission, and the issue of the TRC commission and the reparation. Now, what, as a senior politician, and you have been through the mill, round the block several times, what would you say if oh, let me add, sorry, we know that there is a matter pending relating to compensation in one of the courts. But the problem is always that I think we are too legalistic, and this person is not looking at the Constitution as such. What would you then say to such a person? He's crying in the wilderness. He wants reparation. What would you say with that background that I've sketched?
I think we must follow the processes to the latter in relation to outstanding matters of the TRC, one of which is the question of maybe compensation, and therefore it has to be addressed in a way. I'm not here to basically make that particular call, as I too was part of a contingent of people you can characterize as victims of the past. So in this regard, if we address matters in terms of this commission and conflate that with other issues and leave them hanging, and therefore it will raise expectation. I think we need to be clear with regard to what we are doing here, so that the expectation does not arise that part of the work of the commission is, among others, to address issues of compensation, so to say. But should that arise in the future, it's a matter that will have to be addressed.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
SG, good morning.
Good morning.
You've used the term TRC cases throughout your affidavit. What do you understand by the term TRC cases?
Well, I use the term in response to what I was asked to do. And therefore, in relation to the terms of reference of this commission, and also the matter raised by the Galata family as it relates to our comrades who died, and charge that government did nothing or stopped to prosecute these cases. And I think that is what is required by law and by directive of the president and the terms of reference that this commission is probing, whether or not there were cases of the TRC that were actually stopped.
So during your tenure as the Deputy Minister of Police and the Minister of Police, which spanned short periods, you understood the TRC cases in the context just of the Galata application, or I'm trying to understand what you knew about the TRC cases at that time.
Like I said in my submission, first as Deputy Minister, I get delegated responsibilities. And one of my responsibilities delegated by the then Minister Mteto, I was working under, before later on the President enforced that Deputy Ministers must be assigned tasks. The Minister assigned me the task to deal with police administration, and I report to him. I had no executive authority as a Deputy Minister. So I work at the behest of the Deputy Minister as a Deputy Minister, with the Minister assigning me responsibilities. So neither at the top management, which was our structure, we discussed TRC cases or delegated to deal with such matters. So if the minister then, together with the commissioner, would have dealt with the issues, he will be the best person to account for that.
But you were aware of TRC cases during your tenure as the Deputy Minister?
As a political activist, I'm aware of TRC matters. But in terms of the terrain of operation and work where I was working as a Deputy Minister, and whether or not I dealt with those matters, those issues were not in my table.
So what was your understanding then about TRC matters? What in your mind did this mean?
There was a Truth and Reconciliation Commission in our country, which dealt with our past, and then it dealt with it, and therefore there were matters that were supposed to be executed for people who did not get amnesty, and even for those who did not come to the fore to present their side of the story. And there are many. in the system who did not. And therefore, it means those particular individuals are supposed to face the consequences of the law. And therefore, the process was very clear in terms of what needs to happen going forward. So the relevant authorities in this regard, if anyone was supposed to be prosecuted and all of that, or matters were supposed to be followed up and investigated, the relevant authorities within the state were supposed to follow up on those. So I was just there, and therefore I was not privy to the investigations, because investigations are confidential and classified.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Semenya.